Всем привет! Меня зовут Уилл, и вы смотрите канал «Шекспир, плачет», рубрика «Учим английский» с Уиллом. Так, что же это такое? Это еженедельное видео, минут на 10 на тему человеческих качеств. Новое качество в каждом видео. Это небольшое интро на русском, далее рассказ о моих приключениях, ошибках и полученных уроках в бизнесе в России на английском. Во время видео интересные слова и выражения будут показаны на экране. Если вам этого хватит, то отлично. Но если вы прямо учиться хотите, то можете подписаться на еженедельные вебинары, в которых я буду разбирать текст, слова и выражения этой недели вместе с вами. Получить доступ к вебинарам вы можете, став спонсором проекта на сайте sponsor.ru за 2000 рублей в месяц. Да, получается всего 500 рублей за вебинар. Ну что, поехали? Vulnerable? Not me. Not one for buzzwords. I was put off by words like vulnerable until I realized that vulnerability have become one of my key strengths in managing my team. Fashionable new words and expressions like reach out, going forward, and being vulnerable have been getting under my skin for years now. I've written Facebook posts about them and mocked them in meetings. I've judged people for using them. And I've thought of myself as superior, as I choose to use other words and expressions instead. As an entrepreneur, I often need to contact people about how I want things to be in future. But I found little use for opening up to my staff. I mean, there's a job to be done, and as professionals I expect my team to get on and do it. And that's about all there is to it, right? I spent a number of years working with some coaches, and apart from telling me to look after myself, to get up at 4 a.m, and to eat healthily, they also had one other major focus: forging a team. I figured the people who turned up to work every day, sober and mostly on time, were a team, right? So what forging was there to do? But it turns out they just turned up because they needed the money. And I wasn't particularly unpleasant to work for. Whereas they should have been turning up because they believed in my vision. We shared a mission. Because they wanted to leverage the power of a team to make things happen that are much bigger than their own individual efforts. This is all blindingly obvious and news to nobody other than me. But the question then is, how does one forge such a team? It sounds tough. Forge. That takes heat and pressure and fuel and lots of hitting with a hammer. Except there wasn't any of that hitting in what my coaches were telling me to do. Indeed, it was quite the opposite. They kept telling me to sit and chat with my team members, to joke with them, to ask about family and friends and holidays, adventures. When they asked me a question about a team member's husband or girlfriend, and I answered, "I don't know," they'd look at me in disbelief. To them, knowing all about your team's lives provided the vital connection that allows trust to form, and from there, personal change and growth, which forms loyalty to a leader. After enough of these sessions with my coaches where it was pointed out to me that I knew nothing, they spared me the Jon Snow, I decided to take action and learn about my staff. So this was my first attempt. So, what did you get up to on the weekend? Oh, chilling. Right. Did you catch up with friends? Yep. Cool. And that was it. Learned a lot. I reported back to my coaches on my failure, and after about 10 minutes of laughter had subsided, they asked why I thought it had gone like that. I had no idea. They told me to share something about myself next time. The more embarrassing, the better. So I tried again. How was the weekend? Great, thanks. Cool. You'll never guess what I did. What's that then? I got back into a dinghy for the first time in 20 years. What's a dinghy? Like a mini boat for one person. It's got a sail and a centre plate and a rudder. You get mega wet, but if you catch the wind right and lean out of the boat properly, you can whiz along quite fast. Jeez, that sounds terrifying. It can be. But the best bit? I capsized a lot, 6 times in one race. What's capsizing? It's when the boat falls over and you fall into the water. Then you have to swim around, climb onto the centre plate, using a weight to turn the boat upright, and then climb back into it. You did that? Doesn't the boat sink? Nah, they're plastic. I've forgotten all about how to sail them. No one else capsized that much, but it was great fun. Here, look at these bruises. And so it went on. And I soon learned from her that she'd been to Moscow for the weekend. She'd been on a meditation retreat with a group of friends. She did this every few months, and it helped her painting. She does, or did, amazing watercolours in her spare time. And the meditation, it turns out, helped clear her mind so she could see her subjects better. So what was the difference? Principally, I told her something embarrassing about myself. I led by example, showing her what kind of conversation I wanted to have, and I realised with a small degree of consternation afterwards, I'd been vulnerable. Now, my coaches didn't use buzzwords, so I hadn't seen it coming, but there it is. Being vulnerable gets people to open up to you in return, forging deeper links and better understanding, which are the foundations of a team. Now, things you might consider about this for your own work. Is there anyone at work with whom you're just not getting on? Can you open up to them today? What can you be vulnerable about? Try making them laugh. It breaks the ice. How do you think vulnerability can affect your team's dynamics? And what about its effectiveness? Ну что, ребята, если вы хотите получить полный текст этого рассказа, лучше понять, о чем речь в этом видео, найти применение новым для вас выражениям и лучше понять, как переводить это все на русский красиво, то присоединяйтесь к нашему вебинару по ссылке в описании. А так, ждите следующее видео о моих приключениях в бизнесе в России на следующей неделе. Всем спасибо, пока.